For all of Northern California, this is KOVR 13 News.
A Sacramento Kaiser doctor fighting for her life after contracting the Hantavirus. The CHP crashes an 8-ton truck into a wall on purpose. Find out if this test was a smashing success. More than 100 chihuahuas found in one home. We'll show you the puppy rescue.
This is KOVR 13 News, the 10 o'clock news, with Paul Johnson and Jennifer Whitney.
A distraught relative overcome with grief tonight after a young Modesto boy is accidentally shot and killed in a police raid. Good evening and thanks for joining us. Paul has the night off. Our top story tonight, tragedy strikes a valley town. Tonight, a Modesto police officer is on administrative leave after accidentally shooting and killing an innocent 11-year-old boy during a drug raid. It happened this morning at a home on McDough Avenue in Modesto. And that's where Gloria Gomez joins us now with the very latest. Gloria?
Jennifer, the raid happened early this morning. 6 officers entered this home behind me. 5 minutes later, an 11-year-old boy is dead. Police are calling this an accident. SWAT gear left on the kitchen table. It's a reminder of an early morning drug raid at this home on McAdoo Avenue. A drug raid that claimed one innocent victim, an 11-year-old child. It was a frightening wake-up call for neighbors.
Scared the heck out of me. It's just that early in the morning hearing a bang and stuff real loud. I didn't know what it was.
The bang was a shot fired by SWAT officer 49-year-old David Hahn, killing 11-year-old Alberto Sepulveda.
Preliminary indications are that the child was struck in the back by a single shotgun round when the officer's weapon accidentally discharged.
The SWAT team, along with other agencies, entered the home a little after 6 this morning. Police were serving an arrest warrant for drug trafficking. That's when Hahn's gun goes off and kills the child.
Our entire department is in shock, and our heartfelt sympathy goes out to the family of the child and the officers who were involved in this tragic incident.
Police did arrest the suspect, but are withholding his identity. This early morning raid came as a shock to some who know the family.
They're the type of people, I mean, I would trust my kids to go over there all the time because I used to live here.
Now, Jennifer, there is still a lot we don't know in this investigation. Police are not releasing the relationship between the suspect and the victim at this time. We also don't know if that child was sleeping at the time of the incident. That's something that's still under investigation. We also don't know if the officer involved what we do know is that the officer involved has been with the police department for at least 21 years and 18 years with the SWAT team. That's the latest here in Modesto. I'm Gloria Gomez. Jen, back to you.
How many people live in that house, Gloria? Do we know?
We understand that at least, let's see, 5 people at least. There were 3 children inside and 2 adults.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll hear more in the days to come, no doubt. Gloria Gomez, thank you. Motel handyman Kerry Stayner pleaded guilty today to killing Yosemite naturalist Joey Armstrong. Stayner got a sentence of life in prison in exchange for that plea, but the plea bargain guarantees that Stayner will never get out of prison again.
This guilty plea was obtained through a plea agreement that, in the government's view, achieves a just result. Under that agreement, Kerry Stayner will spend the remainder of his natural life in prison without any possibility of parole, release, or appeal. In other words, Mr. Stayner will never see the outside of a jail again.
I don't like the word closure. This will never go away, but having to deal with legal proceedings like this will be over, and that is a good thing.
Stayner will be sentenced for Armstrong's murder in November. He still faces state charges in the murders of 3 Yosemite tourists, and he could get the death penalty for those crimes. The intrigue of historic Sacramento meant a difficult downtown for firefighters today. Crews had a hard time putting out a fire that started on the city's original sidewalk. That sidewalk is 12 feet underground. Turns out a group of homeless people were living in the area, and some clothing and papers somehow caught on fire. Kim Capozzo joining us now from downtown Sacramento with more. Kim?
Jennifer, today's fire sheds light on the homelessness issue downtown. And when I say downtown, I mean down below. I'm standing on top of old elevator doors. When opened, leads to a whole nother world. nearly 20 engines respond to a fire they believe is in the basement of this business. But once they get down there, they realize the fire is actually under the sidewalk in front of the building. After the smoke clears, they determine nobody is injured, but they do find a makeshift home underneath the sidewalk.
There's nothing you can do. It was out of my control, so I just will have to live with it.
This man says he knew there were homeless people in the area, but didn't know he was parking his car above where they were living.
We've seen people coming and going, but I normally wouldn't stop to ask them what their business was.
We try to keep it closed with the gates and stuff.
Lieutenant Lupe Rangel with the Sacramento Police Department points out areas frequently inspected, but says there are just too many to keep up with.
What they're doing right now is basically shoring it up so nobody else can get in there. I mean, ruined my business.
Sultan Ali says his business is done here. Because of the homeless problem, he'll be moving to another location.
Actually, I didn't know. One of my coworkers seen him yesterday. She just told me about him today, after the fact.
It's very sad, and something needs to be done about it. It's scary.
The general manager of this neighboring restaurant takes us down below to show us exactly how the homeless are living in several parts of the city.
This is an actual tunnel that goes all the way down J Street.
This restaurant certainly has a history. In fact, I'm walking through the original front door. In fact, all of downtown has a history with all the different tunnels, a history with the homeless. Nearly 10 years ago, this fire, which also started in a homeless camp, basically took out an entire city block. That's why firefighters responded to Wednesday's blaze in full force, not wanting history to repeat itself.
Jennifer, earlier when they were battling that fire, they had these doors open, and we looked underneath, and it is just a labyrinth down there. Tons of tunnels, you wouldn't believe it. Again, about 12 feet, but even deeper in some areas. And so police say what they have such a difficult time with is actually when they go down and investigate these areas, they say someone could literally be right next to you, and you wouldn't see them because it's so dark. So that was another problem because it was full of smoke. They weren't sure how big the fire was earlier today, but the good news is nobody was injured. However, they are looking for the homeless people that were camping down there. No word yet on if they've found them. Live in Sacramento, I'm Kim Capozzo. Jennifer, back to you.
It really is fascinating, the history of it all. I mean, you said you're standing on elevator doors, but there must be a lot of easy access to.
There certainly are, because a lot of the businesses down here are not occupied. So that restaurant that we took you under, that is closed off. Otherwise, it would be a tunnel all the way down J Street. But on the other side of them, it's an empty business, and it is easy access down below.
And for those who don't know, the reason the downtown area was raised was?
The flood level.
Right.
They were continually flooded, so that's why we're higher up.
All right. Kim Capozzo, thanks for that tonight. Bat traps were installed at a South Sacramento apartment complex tonight after some residents woke up to a surprise bat attack. We first told you about that bat invasion yesterday, and today, wildlife management officials installed special traps to get rid of the bats. Officials say there could be a few hundred of them in the apartments, and with these new traps, the bats won't be hurt or killed, but they will leave the apartments unharmed.
You basically made a one-way doggy door. The animals can come out, but they can't get back in. And the animals can push their way past it, but they can't.
The bats will fly through the wire door on the trap, and then that door closes right behind them. Officials say the animals are so small, 2 or 3 of them can fit side by side in one of those tiny tubes. A Sacramento County doctor is fighting for her life tonight after contracting a rare case of the potentially deadly Hantavirus. The 39-year-old Kaiser doctor is in a coma at UCD Med Center. She's the first Sacramento resident to come down with this virus. Health officials say sometime within the last 6 weeks, she must have come in contact with deer mice or rodent droppings infected with the virus. Some residents are concerned.
Locally here, I'm concerned about it, really. I'm telling you, if I saw a mouse, I don't think I would touch it.
Health officials say the case does not represent a public health threat because the disease is not spread from person to person. In the meantime, they're searching the woman's Sacramento home and camping site in Tuolumne County for signs of infected deer mice. Well, the beaches along the American River remain closed days after up to 4 million gallons of raw sewage contaminated it. The spill happened over the weekend when a construction company accidentally rerouted the sewage into a storm drain. Although no illnesses have been reported, health officials are waiting for the results of bacterial tests before taking down the warning signs. And the city has started pumping out the contaminated water and is flushing and disinfecting several miles of sewer lines. In a familiar scene this summer, firefighters are battling several out-of-control brush fires in Southern California. They broke out about 2:30 this afternoon. More than 4,500 acres are burned near Vandenberg Air Force Base in Santa Barbara County. Evacuations are underway in the town of Casmelia. Another fire in northern L.A. County has charred 200 acres and destroyed 3 homes. Fire officials say that one was started by a vehicle fire. 15 residents have been evacuated. Another fire in northern L.A. County has consumed about 300 acres. No homes are threatened in that one. And this unusual weather has had many area grape farmers literally holding their breath. It's crush time for wine grape growers throughout California. Farmers are scrambling to harvest because of the rain we had a couple of weeks ago. But local farmers believe this year's crop should last unless we get serious rainfall from what's left of Hurricane Lane. The humidity is bad for grapes because they cannot dry quickly, and that causes bunch rot.
Now there is not enough labor, there's not enough trucks, there's not enough space in the wineries, there's not enough hours in the day to pick the grapes.
Other crops in serious danger by potential rainfall are cotton, dry beans, and raisin grapes. Well, it's about to get easier to go wine tasting in Lodi, and it's all thanks to the new Lodi Wine Trail. Today was the groundbreaking ceremony for that new trail. It winds through Lodi's scenic countryside and connects to wine tasting rooms in the area. City officials say they hope this trail is going to encourage people to take the road less traveled.
Is to get people off the beaten track, so to speak, and pull them off the State Highway 12 because there's so much more to Lodi than Highway 12. We want them to see our beautiful wine country, our tremendous agricultural industry that we have here. We want them to stop and taste some of our fine wines.
There will be between 40 and 60 wine tasting rooms so far. The trail will be expanded as more wine tasting rooms open. And Dave is joining us now with more on the earlier clouds that we had, and then it kind of gave way, and then it kind of clouded up again later tonight.
That's just because we're just getting the sort of this wraparound moisture from former Hurricane Lane, all the rain that came along with this particular system well offshore. We had a couple of returns in the coastal range. That was about it. The bottom line is we started out with a cloud cover, and now it's lifting up and away. And as you said, we picked up a few high clouds toward the tail end of the day, which made for a very, very nice sunset out there. There's your latest look on satellite. This is your latest look on the Futurecast Plus, and basically we're going to see the system lift up and away, push on toward the Pacific Northwest, then over the top of California, high pressure returns, and the temperatures will feel a lot like summer, although we may pick up a bit of a delta breeze, which could cool us down as we go, say, into Friday. And as far as temperatures today, when we lost the cloud cover, the temperatures soared. The high today, well above forecasted temperatures, 100 degrees in downtown Sacramento. Normally, we should be about 89. We thought the cloud cover would stick around a little longer, keeping us in the mid-80s, but there you go. Mother Nature always throwing you a curveball. What's going to happen into the weekend, we'll tell you coming up in just a bit. Back to you.
All right, see you soon. Caltrans is calling its new safety wall a smashing success after putting the movable barrier through a crucial test. This 8-ton truck crashed into the barrier, and the wall took the crash just fine. Crews tested it at the CHP Academy in West Sacramento today. Caltrans says this test is important because the wall will eventually sit on the new span of the Bay Bridge. The steel wall also has many advantages over the old concrete walls.
It weighs significantly lighter than a concrete barrier, about 3 times less, and as a result, the cables from the suspension bridge that will connect to the barrier won't have to be as big or strong, so we'll have about an $8 million cost savings with a steel barrier versus concrete.
Crews say the wall will protect bike riders from oncoming cars, and it even could serve as a safety brake between vehicles and the edge of the bridge. If you think gas prices are bad in Northern California, be glad you're not driving in Britain. A fuel crisis there has drained supplies, sparked some panic, even closed down businesses. Central London is gridlocked, and police have sealed off parts of the city. This gas shortage has gotten so bad, police are riding along with trucks delivering what little gas there is. And of course, this has all led to skyrocketing prices. Some places are charging the equivalent of $12 a gallon. And some of you are helping to locate low gas prices in Northern California. In Sacramento, we hear gas is selling for $1.83 at 47th Avenue and Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. In Modesto, regular unleaded is going for $1.82 at Carver and Standiford Avenues. If you spot a great price, we want to hear about it. Email us at KOVR13.com and input all that information in there, and then we'll pass along the best prices to the rest of you. And still to come tonight at 10, we're live in L.A. with more on your favorite Latin superstar singers at the Grammys tonight. And First Lady Hillary Clinton and Republican Representative Rick Lazio go head-to-head in their first debate. And it got personal. A full wrap-up up next. Special at 10. In just a few weeks, Mexico will have a new president. But in tonight's special assignment, we take a look at what that means for the millions of Mexican nationals living and working here in California. Plus, a new tell-all book about the President Clinton Lewinsky scandal reveals shocking information about the way Mrs. Clinton found out about the affair. And a salsa bar laced with rat poison? Details on how an elementary school prank almost turned deadly. Then, a California construction worker finds an abandoned baby in his truck.
Congratulations to The Late Show for winning the Emmy 3 years in a row. Tonight, catch Sally Field, and tomorrow, don't miss Vice President Al Gore.
Al, you go, girl!
Some trucks haul dirt. Some trucks haul bricks. Some trucks haul gluteus maximus. The new 210 horsepower, supercharged Nissan Frontier.
Mervinism number 45. Once you have kids, you don't shop for yourself.
I forgot my size. Mommy doesn't have any dress. She just wears that.
What are women wearing these days? Find out at Mervin's Women's Sale. This week you'll find clothes that work, like Hillard & Hanson, Villager, and Gloria Vanderbilt, all at 25 to 33% off.
So, stirrup pants are out?
Way out. Mervin's, California. Big brands, small price.
30 contenders, 3 continents, 1 winner. The 2000 Lincoln LS, Motor Trend Car of the Year. And now you can win with a lease of $399 a month for 36 months on a V6-powered LS. The 2000 Lincoln LS. See your Lincoln dealer.
New York State Senate candidates Hillary Rodham Clinton and Rick Lazio battled it out tonight in Buffalo. The two had a spirited debate, with each taking shots at each other's political past. CBS's Drew Levinson has more now from New York.
Moments after they shook hands, the two New York Senate candidates came out fighting, sprinkled among the issues of education, economy, and health care. Hillary Clinton and Rick Lazio went after each other. Mrs. Clinton continuously linked Lazio with former Speaker of the House, Newt Gingrich.
He stands here and tells us that he's a moderate, mainstream, independent member of Congress. Well, in fact, he was a deputy whip to Newt Gingrich.
Mrs. Clinton, you, of all people, shouldn't try to make guilt by association. Newt Gingrich isn't running in this race. I'm running in this race.
On the trust issue, Mrs. Clinton was asked whether she should have apologized to the American people for misleading them regarding her husband's affair with a White House intern. She once blamed it on a right-wing conspiracy.
And I've tried to be as forthcoming as I could, given the circumstances that I faced. Obviously, I didn't mislead anyone. I didn't know the truth.
Frankly, what's so troubling here, with respect to what my opponent just said, is somehow that it only matters what you say when you get caught. And character and trust is about well more than that.
The often testy exchanges included Lazio walking over to Clinton and trying unsuccessfully to get her to sign a pledge barring soft money from their campaigns. In the end, Lazio stressed he was born and raised in New York, and that should count for something. Clinton countered, New Yorkers should care more about what she's about than where she's from. The two meet twice more before the election. Drew Levinson, CBS News, Buffalo, New York.
And a new tell-all book says President Clinton had his personal lawyer tell Hillary about his affair with Monica Lewinsky. The book is called The Breach, and it says attorney David Kendall went to the First Family's White House quarters to tell Mrs. Clinton the president had lied about the affair. The author, Washington Post reporter Peter Baker, also writes the president was so distracted by his impeachment that at meetings, aides would sometimes have to answer questions for him. A former congressman helping with Al Gore's presidential campaign received an unusual package today. It contained a videotape that reportedly showed George W. Bush's debate preparations. Officials say the package came with a return address of Austin, Texas, which is home of Bush's headquarters. The return address also included a name, but the man who opened it didn't recognize it. A Gore campaign spokesman says they would never use the tape. The FBI now has the tape and is trying to determine whether it was illegally obtained from the Bush campaign. After nearly 300 days in jail, nuclear scientist Wen-Ho Lee is free after pleading guilty to just one charge. Lee pleaded guilty to one count of mishandling nuclear secrets today. Federal Judge James Parker quickly apologized to him and said the conduct of the Justice and Energy Departments, quote, embarrassed our entire nation. But a federal prosecutor disagrees and says Lee downloaded what he calls a personal library of nuclear secrets. Lee faced life in prison on 59 counts of violating national security. Well, it's being called the worst puppy mill in Wisconsin history. Police found more than 200 dogs on one couple's property, mostly Chihuahuas, and they're now in a makeshift animal shelter. Many of the dogs are newborns, but some are as old as 14. In 1997, the couple was fined for breeding dogs without a license, and police say they're going to investigate this case. All healthy dogs will be put up for adoption. And still to come tonight on the 10 o'clock news, a construction worker returns to his truck after work, and you won't believe what he found inside. And a possible case of police brutality after a man takes officers on a wild high-speed chase.
We're all fully coached today, but it looks like I can upgrade you to a better seat.
Oh, great.
Have a nice trip, sir.
Thanks.
With its comfortable body contoured leather seats, a traction control system, and a 200 horsepower V6 engine, the 2001 Accord is a more sophisticated way to travel.
In today's world, you're on the go more than ever. That's why AT&T Digital One Rate has no roaming or long distance charges in all 50 states, so you can travel from the big city to the Big Easy to the Big Island. And won't be far from the people who matter most. AT&T Digital One Rate. Now with more plans to choose from with more minutes than ever before. Wireless from AT&T. Your world close at hand.
On the road, even for an experienced driver, things are not always the way they appear. For instance, the blind spots around a truck. They can be a dangerous place to drive.
Now that's the beauty.
Remember, if you can't see the driver's face in the side mirrors,
He can't see you.
the driver can't see you. Stay out of the truck's blind spots, and you'll stay safe. For more tips on how to share the road safely, get this free booklet from Shell. Count on Shell.
Craving flaky, crispy fish done the way only Long John Silver's can do it? How about golden fried chicken planks with our new tastier, crispier fries, piping hot hush puppies, and zesty slaw? Here are two great deals. Now, two can dine for $5.99 with either Long John Silver's Fish and More or Chicken and More meals. Or if you have family-sized cravings, get Long John Silver's Family Meal. A boatload of golden chicken or fish, hush puppies, and your choice of two sides for $10.99. So head on down for the food you crave and the meals you love, only at Long John Silver's.
Getting to the mountains was easy, especially with my new Sport Trax Control Track 4-wheel drive and 4-liter V6. But now it's all me, and I'm giving it everything I got.
Uh-oh.
Bummer.
Half sport utility, half truck. The new Explorer Sport Track has room for 5, custom roof racks, and nearly 6 feet of bed space. Check out the full line of Explorers at your Northern California Ford outfitter.
What?
Dietary supplements are big business for adults, but now the market's also booming for children. Last year, Americans spent $120 million on supplements for young people. But are they safe? Health editor Diana Penna has details.
Adults have turned herbal supplements into a booming business. Now the people who market things like echinacea and St. John's wort are turning their attention to kids. With cute names and cartoons on the labels, they sure seem kid-friendly. Aaron Jacks works at a natural food store.
That's an echinacea formula there. There's also a multivitamin here, a whole food supplement, and a vitamin C supplement. Instead of being in a hard tablet, it's in a gummy bear form.
And they're not just for colds and sniffles. A lot of folks turn to supplements because their child gets diagnosed with ADD, and they don't want to give the child Ritalin. There are a lot of supplements geared to that, but the most controversial may be ephedra. Ephedra is actually called legal speed by some doctors, and most health food stores warn against giving it to anyone under 18. Supplement companies don't have to report serious product problems to the government.
Sometimes people think that because it is natural, it is safe, and that's most of the time the case, but not always the case.
At this health food store, they say the supplements they sell can help round out a child's overall nutrition.
But regardless, they need to be treated like any other medication. They're not a candy. They're a medication.
As Diana Penna, and still to come tonight at 10, Mexico's new president is just weeks away from taking office. In tonight's special assignment, we'll show you how this affects Mexican nationals in California. And who was wearing what, and who was trembling? We'll take you to the Latin Grammys live.
KOVR 13 is proud to be a founding sponsor of the 2000 Business Leadership Summit. This year's event will be headlined by General H. Norman Schwarzkopf. Also appearing will be former Prime Minister of Canada, Brian Mulroney, Court TV journalist Catherine Pryor, columnist and author Mitch Albom, and political satirist Will Durst. The day-long event is Saturday, October 7th on the San Joaquin Delta College campus in Stockton. For ticket information to the 2000 Business Leadership Summit, call 209-460-0623.
Talk about different. This Dakota regular cab has more available power, payloaded towing than any other compact pickup. Add this generous cash allowance, and what's not to LOVE?
Okay, tools I know. But plant food, fertilizer, herbicides, When it comes to garden products and advice, the place to come is Orchard. It's their bag. Orchard, complete hardware and garden.
Now at Orchard, your choice of Best Turf Supreme or fall and winter lawn food, only $8.99 a bag. And this Ortho Whirlybird hand spreader, just $9.99.
This year, the U.S. Olympic team will put the world's best to the test. And this summer, Cadillac invites you to put its best to the test during the Cadillac U.S. Olympic Countdown. And now you can get a 2000 Escalade with an onboard rear seat entertainment system with a flip-down monitor, video cassette player, and more. Obviously, it's the right time and the right opportunity. The power of and, the fusion of design and technology. Cadillac.
This program brought to you by Cadillac.
In just 10 short weeks, Mexico's new president takes office. The election of Vicente Fox is being hailed as a triumph for democracy. But what does it mean for the 7 million Mexican nationals living and working in California? Marcy Valenzuela explores that in tonight's special assignment.
Para estar al lado de mi querido México.
July 2nd, 1999. A triumph for democracy as Mexicans make a brave choice for change, voting out the party that had ruled their country with seeming impunity for 71 years. Educated at Harvard, President-elect Vicente Fox styled himself as a down-home American politician, getting a close circle of friends to finance his campaign, wearing informal clothes and boots, and speaking the language of the people.
We must transfer good ideas from other countries to adapt them into Mexico.
The gamble paid off as voters gave him the mandate to make the changes he championed. More and better paying jobs and an end to the corruption that has kept this resource-rich country our poor second cousin to the south. But talk to the people, and the word you hear associated with Vicente Fox is esperanza, hope.
I have a lot of hope that Mexico will do better and will change with the new administration.
Well, there is hope, but the question is whether that's enough for Mexicans to leave their jobs here in the U.S. to forge new lives back home.
It's a question of considerable interest to the Americans who depend on affordable Mexican labor to harvest their crops, work in their kitchens, watch their children, and take care of their homes. Mexico's Consul General for Northern California says even if Fox is successful, the changes he proposes will not happen overnight.
As long as this country will be needing more jobs and more people to perform different jobs, Mexicans will continue to come to the United States. One has to remember that the wages are 10 times higher in the United States than in Mexico.
At the recent United Farm Workers Convention in Fresno, Mexican nationals we talked to had varied opinions.
I would never go back to Mexico. We have all the opportunities here in California. I don't see why we would ever go back to Mexico. Maybe to vacation.
Here there's more opportunities, but I think we would go back if Mexico had a change.
Mexicans visiting the consulate in Sacramento were also divided.
Yes, I love Mexico. I'm Mexican. That's my country, even if it has problems.
Maybe, little by little, as we make progress in our country, we'll be able to start returning to Mexico. Some of us will stay.
An issue of more pressing interest is Fox's call for an open border. Lieutenant Governor Cruz Bustamante expects to hear details during Fox's upcoming visit to California. He says the controversial proposal shouldn't get in the way of focusing on what the United States and Mexico can accomplish together with or without an open border.
I have found that this man he has a vision for his country, and he wants real partners. So we should become a partner, try to get what we possibly can and give what we possibly can and create that partnership strongly. And we'll see what happens maybe in the future about some proposal that is creating flashpoints.
Consul General Jose Campillo says while Fox's vision of an open border will not materialize the day after his election, it is feasible and highly desirable for two countries already intertwined both culturally and economically.
Mexico is going to be right on the border. We will never be at the Pacific Ocean or in the Philippines. We are going to be forever on the doors of the United States. So sooner or later, we're going to have I wouldn't say that the border will disappear, but we are going to have a very close interaction.
On special assignment, Marcy Valenzuela, KOVR 13 News.
And still to come tonight at 10, history was made tonight. We're going to take you live to Los Angeles for more on the first annual Latin Grammys.
Hi, it's Dave live in the KOVR Weather Center. Let's take a look at the Wednesday night allergy report and see what is showing up. It's elm there, and it's moderate in the tree column. Plantain, moderate for weeds, low for grass, moderate for mold. And we're still tracking some clouds and some radar returns, all associated with what is left of former Hurricane Lane. Any more of that moisture headed our way? We'll tell you coming up.
Still more at 10. Justice served or police brutality? See the wild chase that sparked this arrest. Sulfa and rat poison, the school prank that could have been deadly. And new information about plans to raise the sunken Russian sub and recover the dozens of bodies deep in the ocean. Then, a shocking find for an LA construction worker. We'll tell you what he found in his truck that set off a huge search.
Next meal these babies eat
If he wants to eat, I'm going to feed him.
could be their last. OB's Baby on the next one.
Tomorrow at 4.
Hey, Bingo. You're in the way. When you offer the most powerful four-cylinder engine in a compact truck, you too, little Bingo. You don't need gimmicks to get people's attention. Back in 1988, this truck offered first-class dependability at a great price. that's about all that hasn't changed.
Can you live for today and still prepare for tomorrow? If you had the chance to make your dream come true, could you? When you look out your window, what do you wish you'd see? Seeing the possibilities is the first stage. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
At Safeway, while our pharmacists are filling your prescription, you can fill something of your own. While they're consulting your doctor, you can consult the produce manager. While they're checking your medication record, you're sampling our bakery's latest creation. And when you've finished your shopping, your prescription is waiting for you, instead of the other way around. Safeway Pharmacy, the special pharmacy that doesn't require a special trip.
First of all, I'm not denying that I used cellular. It was a very experimental time. Someone passed it to me, I put it to my ear, but I did not talk, I only listened. Even then, all I heard was static. But I have been free and clear ever since. I even chose long distance so I could reach out to young people across the nation and warn them of even casual cellular use.
The new Sprint PCS Free and Clear plan, $29.99 for 500 minutes, all with nationwide long distance.
Nerves of steel, strength under pressure, cast iron muscle. Looks like we've got a lot in common. Chevy trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. And now, during the Chevrolet U.S. Olympic Countdown, get $2,000 cash back or 3.9 APR on the 2000 Silverado 3-door extended cab. This selection won't last, so get to the Chevrolet U.S. Olympic Countdown any way you can. Just get to your local Chevy dealer today.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Sleep Train Mattress Centers, your ticket to a better night's sleep.
A high-speed chase in Florida came to a violent end and left 3 officers on administrative duty. A helicopter photographer captured 5 Florida police officers punching and kicking this suspect during an arrest. The police department's assistant director says he was concerned by the actions of the officers. The suspect was originally pulled over for a traffic violation, but he took off, leading police on a wild high-speed chase. During that, police say he fired 2 shots and struck the officer with his car. 2 Florida 7th graders are being questioned by police for reportedly putting rat poison in cafeteria food. 34 students ate salsa sprinkled with the poison. Police say the boys put the poison in the salsa while standing in the lunch line. One student reportedly said she overheard one of the suspects saying he wanted to kill someone. 15 students have been treated for headaches, but doctors say the 25 grams of poison was too small to cause serious danger. Divers will start recovering the bodies of the crew from the sunken Russian submarine by the beginning of next month. Russian Deputy Prime Minister says Norwegian and Russian divers will cut holes in the hull of the nuclear sub to reach the remains of the 118 crew members who died in that disaster. Officials say the submarine will also be raised to alleviate fears about the Kursk's nuclear reactor. A Los Angeles construction worker was shocked today when he looked inside his truck and found an abandoned baby. The worker says he saw a woman walking around his truck. He thought she was trying to steal his tools, so he went and checked it out, and he saw something that he least expected.
And I found a baby inside my truck. Just called 911 and had the cops come over there. She was, I guess, having... There was a baby in my car. You don't find a baby in your truck like that every day, you know? So.
Police arrested a suspicious woman who turned out to be the baby's mother. Officials say the 4-month-old baby boy seems healthy and happy tonight. Well, the stage at the Staples Center in Los Angeles was sizzling hot tonight as the first ever Latin Grammy Awards went off without a hitch. The historic event was so exhilarating, even teen sensation Christina Aguilera says she was trembling with excitement. Teresa Estacio has our report.
The vibrant rhythms of Latin music took center stage at the first annual Latin Grammy Awards. The night began with an all-star tribute to the late, great Tito Puente. Taking home the night's first prize, Dominican-born artist Juan Luis Guerra for Best Merengue Performance. A more familiar face to mainstream audiences, Christina Aguilera delivered a sexy Spanish version of her smash hit, Genie in a Bottle. Striving to make a name for herself here in the U.S., Latin sensation Shakira won Best Female Pop and Rock Vocals.
This is for you, Colombia. Para ti, Colombia!
Santana and the group Maná got the crowd on its feet with their performance of Corazón Espinado. But then it was a battle of the boy bands with the ever-popular NSYNC and Puerto Rico's Son by Four, both crooning Latin ballads.
Now, Carlos Santana also won 3 awards, including Record of the Year, and then Luis Miguel, he took home 3 as well, including Album of the Year. It was a very exciting evening here in Los Angeles, and I'm going to throw it back to you, Jennifer, there in the studio. All right, so give us the dirt on the fashions. Okay, this is the dirt, low and down. Melanie Griffith, absolutely amazing. She had this pink little outfit on. She was gorgeous. Shakira came out, and we weren't exactly what to think of this. It was kind of a hip thing. You know, it was hip and cool, but we weren't exactly sure. And then Jennifer Lopez came out, and she was looking like a princess. She had her hair up in a bun. I think all the guys were just, you know, waiting with bated breath to find out what she was going to be wearing. And when she came out, I think they were a little disappointed. But, you know, so that was kind of... Antonio Banderas had this amazing tux on. So it was really fun to watch everybody and see what they were wearing. And at the same time, listen to great music, Jennifer. Antonio Banderas would look good in a grocery bag. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you, Teresa. So still to come tonight at 10, what's with this hot and humid weather? Dave's up next to tell us how long it's going to last.
Coming up tomorrow on Daybreak, we'll take a look at the introduction of Windows Millennium Edition, and we'll have highlights of the Latin Grammy Awards. Hi, I'm Michelle Kane.
And I'm Bill Kelly. I'll have your weather forecast for you tomorrow. Join us for Daybreak.
We loved our first Elantra so much, we went out just a week later and bought ourselves a second one. The Elantra offers plenty of safety features. Airbags, lots of room for car seats, kids' toys. It gets excellent gas mileage. It's a great family car. The warranty for this in America. It's nice to know that I won't have to put more money into my car as I'm still paying for it.
Get as low as 3.9% APR financing on the Elantra at your Hyundai dealer now.
The Room Source is the fastest growing furniture company in Sacramento because of our great selection of furniture and name brand mattress and box springs, our unbeatable low price guarantee, and our 100% satisfaction guarantee. And right now, get incredible financing this week only with no interest for 2 years. Save in this 7-piece living room with sofa, love seat, cocktail table, 2 end tables, 2 lamps, only $7.97. This pillow top 7-piece living room, only $9.97. Or this designer 7-piece living room, only $12.97. 2 years, no interest right now at the Room Source.
At the Room Source, of course.
Well, welcome to Walmart. I start them off with a hello and how you doing? Good afternoon. How you doing? Just the same feeling that you're greeting people coming into your house. Hi, how are you today? This is my house. Retirement is for the birds. I'd rather work. Would you like a smiley face stick? We talk about the weather. We got a little yakety-yak going.
How's the family?
Everybody's fine, and that's the way we do it. Hugs are great. Hugs are the best. Let me give you a sticker. We're just a big family at Walmart. If you come in here without a smile, I'll give you one of mine. I've always been set in my ways, so when Subaru told me they were changing my Outback, I was a tad concerned. Truth is, they just made it better. This next generation Outback's got a stylish new body, quieter ride, and their best all-wheel driving system ever. Sort of inspired me to make a few changes. I think this works. The Outback.
Now you can get 4.9% APR on the popular 2000 Legacy and Outback models.
This program brought to you by Subaru.
Traffic was backed up for miles on I-5 today, all in the name of love. Cars were to crawl this morning along 5 from Sutterville Road to Elk Grove Boulevard. Drivers were all staring at a gigantic marriage proposal, a banner hung on a freeway overpass. One man wanted to declare his love in a very unique way. But while some people say it was an endearing gesture, police warned the man could get up to 6 months in jail and a $1,000 fine, which brings us to our question of the day. What punishment do you think the person who hung the proposal banner should receive? Melody and Jennifer from Sacramento had this to say.
Whoever hung that proposal banner
shouldn't be in any kind of trouble. With all the violence that's in the world today, people shooting people over petty things, we're going to get somebody in jail for possibly 6 months for declaring his love. Punishment he should receive is a long and happy marriage. That was wonderful.
A lot of romantics out there.
None of those people were in that traffic jam.
Yeah, that's why. Exactly. They all took 99 instead. Anyhow, so we've been dealing with some humidity and warm weather.
It was 100 today.
Was it really?
I mean,
that
we
high?
actually thought, would I lie to you?
I hope not.
Don't answer that. Actually, we thought it would be maybe like the mid-90s because we thought the cloud cover would stick around a bit longer. Well, as it cleared out, the temperatures really started to soar. We had the extra humidity all because of, you got it, Tropical Storm Lane. So we thought we'd share with you some pictures of where fall is kind of coming in just a bit early. This is up near Denver, Colorado. The aspens are showing their colors. Fall officially starts in and around the area coming up next Friday. So about a week ahead, they're looking at trees, and we're looking at heat and humidity. What are they doing in San Antonio? They're dealing with rain, lots of it. In many spots, they're actually getting flooding. This is welcome news for people in Texas, and the reason for that is they haven't seen rain in a long time, but they're getting way too much, way too fast, and of course, since they haven't seen rain in a long time, they're doing the old rain dance in Texas. All right, from there, let's go ahead and show you what's going on tonight. We're looking at mostly clear conditions, a few high clouds scooting by, and temperatures pretty mild for this time of the evening. 74 degrees in Sacramento, Stockton 78, Modesto 73, Marysville at 73 degrees. The humidity 50%, the dew point 54, winds are south-southwest at 9, and the barometer 29.70 inches of mercury. Look at these highs today. Yikes, 100 degrees. We should be about 89, so well above average. Not a record, but close enough for most people. 95 in Rancho Murrieta, Rockland calling in with a 95, 97 in Vacaville, upper 80s in Pollock Pines, about 81 and still the cloud cover, keeping it cool in Plumas County and Quincy. So again, it's what's left over of former Hurricane Lane moving up the west coast here. Had a few showers offshore, a few thunderstorms. It's going to lift up and away and go over the top of California. We'll rebuild the high pressure. Tomorrow, fairly toasty, most likely mid-90s, probably low 90s on Friday, and then back into the low to mid-90s for the last full weekend of the summer of 2000. And those are the latest radar returns showing mostly the activity offshore there. Hardly anything coming onshore. And again, see some of the yellows there, some heavier precipitation with this band of subtropical moisture moving up, most likely some showers and embedded thunderstorms right there. That won't be in our forecast for tomorrow. It's going to be a mostly sunny day, and it's going to be a toasty day. Again, we should be in the upper 80s. We're going to hit about 95 tomorrow in Sacramento. And look at these morning lows in the low 60s, so a very, very balmy start, even though we don't have the cloud cover. It's still going to be pretty mild out there. 63 to start in Sacramento, 95 the afternoon high. 95 for Vacaville, mid-90s for Marysville and Stockton, low 90s tomorrow, 92 for Modesto. Into the Gold Country, it's mostly sunny conditions as we go through our Thursday with afternoon highs in the upper 80s and low 90s for Grass Valley and Georgetown. Low 90s uniformly there for Auburn, Placerville, Jackson, and Sonora. In the Sierra, it's a mostly sunny day as we go through our Thursday. Look for temperatures to be in the upper 70s around Lake Tahoe. Truckee starts off pretty chilly at 36, but turns around nicely to an 82. 83 for Pollock Pines, mid-80s, a little warmer in Plumas County and for the town of Quincy. Along the coast, probably as we go into Friday, we'll get the night and morning low clouds back, but it looks like as we go through tomorrow morning, it's going to be mostly clear to start and 60 degrees in San Francisco. Then mostly sunny and 72 for the afternoon high, 86 for Antioch, 84 San Jose, low 90s Clear Lake, mid-60s Fort Bragg. There's your 5-day forecast. A little cooler on Friday, Delta breeze helping us out there just a bit. And then low to mid-90s for Saturday, Sunday on into Monday, and again Saturday and Sunday, the last full weekend of summer. So go out and enjoy that. And those are your morning lows, maybe a scattered high cloud to start. 63, 60, and 62 for Sacramento, Stockton, and Modesto. So a pretty mild night. Not quite like last night. I mean, last night actually was pretty, if you didn't have the air conditioner running or your fans going, it's pretty unbearable.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right, Dave, thanks. And we have sports coming up next. In what may be his final speech at Indiana University, Bobby Knight says farewell to thousands of students. And the hottest team in baseball brought their brooms to Houston looking for a sweep. John Hank has your sports next.
KOVR TV 13, the CBS affiliate in Sacramento, is seeking a person with business-to-business sales and or media skills and lots of initiatives to develop new business. Fax your resume to 916-374-1466.
You think football is fun? Not anymore, though, is it?
Zero fun, sir.
All right. You got anger. That's good. And I don't need you up on my face. You got aggression. That's even better. Get up. We will be perfect in every aspect of the game. We don't let nothing come between us. We're going to change the way we run. Change the way we block. Change the way we win. We are changed.
Remember, the
Titans, rated PG, starts September 29th.
Sacramento area residents, what do you dream of when you dream of nothing? How about nothing down and nothing to pay for 12 months for qualified buyers on every new 2000 Oldsmobile Intrigue, Alero, Bravada, Silhouette, and the entirely new 2001 Aurora? That's nothing down and nothing to pay for a full year on these new Oldsmobiles. Call 1-888-255-OLDS for details. See your participating dealer today.
The Home Depot continues to lower the cost of home improvement.
Come to Home Depot's GE and Maytag Appliance Truckload event. Our low prices will knock your socks off. Dozens of refrigerators, dishwashers, microwaves, range hoods, you name it. Plus, save $152 every day off the retail price on Neptune, Maytag's hardest working washer and dryer. So freeze it, bake it, rinse it, or wash it. The Appliance Truckload event is happening now at the Home Depot.
My wife was always getting on my case about smoking. She said it's bad for you. It makes the drapes smell. She even threatened to stop kissing me if I didn't quit. I said, it's my lungs and it's my life. But I was wrong. I didn't quit. I had no idea the life I'd lose wasn't mine. It was hers. Because she was my life. My wife was my life.
Used Car Super Sale.
This weekend at Cal Expo,
You'll find a massive selection
of cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. Come to the Used Car Super Sale at Cal Expo.
starting Friday at 3.
It would be nice to, sure would be nice to watch a Raiders game on TV.
Well, the Raiders will sell out Sunday, I guarantee. However, they have to sell out by 1 o'clock tomorrow for us to carry the game at 1:15, and they have 5,000 tickets yet to sell before 1 tomorrow.
So it's probably not going to happen.
Well, it's close. Probably won't, but it's very close. Now the baseball, and chasing a division title, sweeping a series, the Giants close out their stay in Houston tonight, where the Stros' playoff hopes were derailed long ago. Levon Hernandez continues to fool them, goes 8, scatters 7, hits fans 7 after his 15th win. Wade Miller of the Stros has a 3-hit shutout, a 2-0 lead in the 7th when Barry Bonds, messes up his night. Barry, his career-high 47th homer, putting him one back of Lou Gehrig's 17th on the all-time list, a 2-1 game. 2-2 in the Giants' 9th. Armando Rios, opposite way. It's a Giants bright spot, you know, right field with Rios and Burks. The Rios bomb, a Giants lead now. It's 3-2. So let's bring on Rob Nen in the 9th. Tying run on second. Nen wants and gets the strikeout. Save number 36. Giants sweep in Houston. Their divisional lead intact with a day off tomorrow. Giants win at 3-2. Arizona did beat the Dodgers 3-2. Giants still lead the West by 8.5 on the D-backs. A's are a contender. They want to be somebody. Serious wrap of the Twins today at the Coliseum. Miguel Tejada in the second off Eric Milton. 2-run bomb ties the game at 2. Gil Heredia starts for the A's. Twins get a 2 spot in the 4th. A run on the throwing boot by Fasano into right. It scores a run. It's 4-2. Later, it's 6-2 Twins in the A's 6th. Milton nada. Mike Stanley with a runner on. This ball carries over and out to center over the 400-foot sign. Cuts the Twins lead to 6-4. 7-6 Twins in the A's 9th. Tying run on second. 2 out. Randy Velarde fans game over. A's lose a chance to gain in their chases. Minnesota beat the A's 7-6. Bottom 11. A's and Kansas City are tied at 1. Right now, A's are a game and a half back of the M's, who lead the West. And Cleveland beat Boston 10-3. Tribe leads a wild card by a game and a half on the A's, 3 on the Red Sox. They gather in masse this afternoon in Bloomington because they love basketball in Indiana, and Bob Knight is basketball in Indiana. 29 years. He wants to speak, say his goodbyes to the students, the fans. He does. They listen. He's Bob.
In fact, if I were you guys, now I'd be careful about letting anybody know that you were here tonight, because these people in the administration are really great at one thing, and that's putting a spin on things. Putting a spin on anything possible to work to their advantage with no attention being paid to the truth.
Bobby yesterday on ESPN, 7 to 8 p.m. back east, 4 here on the coast. The 35-minute live interview pulls an audience of 1,700,000, a 204% increase from ESPN's regular programming at that time. Indianapolis, it's the single most watched show all day. 18% more than Reach and his Millionaire Quiz Bowl show last night on ABC. Well, that's basketball in Indiana, and that is their Bob Knight. Now again, Raiders and Broncos Sunday at the Coliseum, 1:15. Rules according to an act of Congress. If you want to televise a home game, it must be sold out 72 hours before kickoff. That's tomorrow. The Raiders need to sell 5,000 by 1 or 1:15. Raiders home telecast hasn't happened in 3 years, but the unbeaten Raiders and the Broncos with QB Brian Griese is playing so well, that's the hook. The kid has found the touch, showing poise in the Monday night opener and at home on Sunday in the 42-14 rout of the Falcons. And while they have Brian, the Broncos do, they're also without their kicking stud, Jason Elam, who was hurt in the Sunday win and left with a limp. So the Broncos turn to Joe Nedney, who was in camp with the Raiders, and, of course, the Raiders' #1 pick, Sebastian Janikowski. Of course, Nedney, cut by Raiders coach John Gruden. Uh-oh.
When they released me, I told John Gruden, I said, you know, I look forward to the time when I'm sitting across from you on the other sideline playing against you, because I'm going to give you everything I got. He knows who he's up against. You know, I gave him a really good camp, and he knows what kind of kicker I am, and he knows that every opportunity I get, I want to stuff it down his throat.
Them's fighting words. Friday night, the KOVR 13 High School Football Patrol features the huge early season matchup, Grant and Valley at CRC. Jennifer Cryer there with highlights and interviews. We'll also be at Nevada Union, the Miners and Grizzlies from Granite Bay. Patrol highlights and scores Friday on the 10 o'clock news. And then Saturday and Sunday, the return of our weekly Sacramento Bee High School sports show. 8:30 Sunday morning, 4:30 on Saturday afternoon.
All right. Thank you, John, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow. Letterman's next. Good night.